here are the steps you need to follow, boss. Like if you're trying to get a 90 plus business credit score, especially for your Paydex score, you want to get credit from companies you know report to Dun & Bradstreet. I want to emphasize the fact that you have to know that they report to Dun & Bradstreet because we're trying to actually impact your Paydex credit score. The thing is, a lot of net 30 vendors, they tell you, hey, listen, we're going to report your transactional data to Dun & Bradstreet, but they don't. Okay, so it's really important to have a clear idea about the procedures they follow when reporting your transactional data to Dun & Bradstreet. So I have here, luckily for you, we have actually compiled a list of certain companies that report to Dun & Bradstreet. We know this for sure because we have our own business clients who are building business credit through these companies, through this net 30 vendors. So you have Creative Analytics. So they actually are a full service digital marketing and management strategy consultancy that offers 3 different types of business accounts to choose from if you're trying to build credit. So they have an annual purchasing charge account. You have a monthly business credit on autopilot, and they have a pay by invoice with net 30. You also have Business T-shirt Club. Okay, so they are a membership-based print and embroidery company offering access to a premium brands at wholesale rates. You have Summa Office Supplies. So this is another net 30 vendor who reports to Dun & Bradstreet and other business credit bureaus. You also have Office Garner. So Office Garner offers a variety of products including office supplies, electronics, website designs, and business cards. You have the CEO Creative. Okay, they actually meet a variety of business needs in one stop. You have Quill. So Quill is a great player also. They actually allow you to get office supplies online. You have Ohana Office Supplies, Ohana Office Products. Okay, that's another great player. You have Nemi Nuts. So they offer digital marketing services, which include SEO, content writing, social media management, and marketing. You have Granger. That's another large player that has a variety of products for businesses, including tools, plumbing supplies, and so on and so forth. You have Uline. And then you have Nav. So here you have it. So you want to first start by getting credit from companies you know report to Dun & Bradstreet. The second thing I want you to do, boss, is that you have to order stuff on credit. This is really important. By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. We're having a conversation about 3 things you can do to quickly reach a 90 plus Paydex score. So you want to order stuff on credit. The thing is that some vendors require you to prepay prepay for your initial purchase. Then they will extend your business credit on subsequent purchases. That's usually the way it works. So basically, let's say you want to buy from Granger, for example. So Granger, basically, they'll ask you to fill a net 30 vendor application, right? But the very first transaction, let's say you want to buy like $30 or $50 worth of products, they'll ask you to pay for things right away. So you want to use your credit card and just charge everything on your credit card. And subsequently, once they actually review your application, they'll either approve you or they'll deny you, or sometimes they'll ask for additional documentation before approving you. So after that, they could actually start you with a small limit. For example, they can start you at $500 in terms of your net 30 limit, or $1,000, depending on the strength of your business application and also the strength of your business model in general. Okay, and also sometimes if they have experience with similar companies in your field, then they're more likely to extend you, I think, more generous lines of credit. Okay, so the thing is that once you apply once you order stuff on credit, please make sure that you pay it on time. Okay, normally you should pay it right away because you should have to charge your credit card. But if they want you to say, listen, if they say, well, you can pay within 3 days after receiving the products, please, once you receive the product, pay on time. And once you're approved for a business credit line, please always make sure that you respect your transactional requirements like net 30 or net 15 or net 45. Pay within that time, or even better, if you're trying to increase your Paydex score, you want to pay before the deadline. Credit card, credit card, credit card. Let me ask you a question. Do you currently have a business credit card? Do you have a business credit card? If you do, boss, now is the time to make sure that your card issuer actually reports your transactional data to Dun & Bradstreet, because this could be a great opportunity for you to actually increase your Paydex score. The third thing I want you to do, and I just briefly alluded to it, is that you need to pay vendor invoices in full before they are due. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a convo about the 3 things you can do right now, to quickly reach a 90 plus Paydex score. Number 1, get credit from companies you know. Report to Dun & Bradstreet. Not all the net 30 vendors. Those who promise but never report your data to Dun & Bradstreet, do not. You want to steer clear of those vendors. But those whom you know report your data to Dun & Bradstreet, go with them. You want to order stuff on credit. You want to pay for the original order with a credit card or debit card, okay? And now you want to pay vendor invoices in full before they're due. The reason is that when you pay a vendor in full before they're due, this actually has a great impact on your Paydex score, because actually based on the algorithm that Dun & Bradstreet has, and based on our own experience with that algorithm, they actually give a bigger weight, a larger weight to advance payment, to full payment, early payment. Okay, so if you want to really go really high, let's say right now you are around 60 or 75 and you're trying to go to 95, always pay systematically and reflexively all your bills in full and before the due date. So for instance, you can pay 5 days before or 7 days before. If you have the cash, just do it, right? If you don't have the cash, that's another thing. But if you have the cash, let's say if you have the cash to pay to pay your bill, why wait till the end, till the very, very end? You're not really helping your case here, okay? So you want to be in a situation where you automate those things if you have the cash, so you can pay your bills on time. Now, what will happen here is that the vendor will report your transactional data to Dun & Bradstreet, telling them that you paid your bill. You know, the bill was due, let's say, January 31st, but you pay the bill around January 24th. And you have been consistently doing this all over the last 6 months. Like, you know, normally your bill is due month end, but you always pay around the 23rd or in the 3rd week. This is really good. This is really good. This is what you want to be in a situation where you are constantly paying your bill in full and on time, or even before the due date. Okay, very important. So here you have it. Those are the 3 things you want to do. Okay, get credit from companies you know, report to Dun & Bradstreet, order stuff on credit, and pay vendors in full before they're due. But before I think I want to give you an overview about the whole thing about Paydex, so you have a clear idea of what we're talking about, because you can't really raise your Paydex score if you do not understand conceptually here, okay, conceptually what Paydex is about and what it does. So the Paydex score is a business credit score that Dun & Bradstreet, which is a business credit bureau, if not the most important business credit bureau, generates. So the Paydex score measures how well your company pays its suppliers, vendors, and other businesses it may work with. So if you have a startup, also you can have a Paydex score, not a problem. Okay, and so if you have a business, everybody that you work with, every business that you work with, even including the utility companies, right? The electricity company or the water company. I mean, they all report your data to Dun & Bradstreet. So when we talk about Paydex scores, the scores range from 0 to 100, and a score of 0 represents the highest risk of a late payment. So if you have a 0 as a Paydex score, no lender will want to work with you. Okay, this is just what it is. It is what it is. So how does the Paydex score works, boss? Now, that's a question that you might be asking yourself because you're thinking about establishing your Paydex score. Okay, while you may not have heard of the Paydex score before, it's one of the one of the more simple business credit scores to understand. Compared to other types of credit score, there's not that much that goes into it, and it only measures one small piece about your business: how well it pays its suppliers and vendors. Okay, so how the Paydex score is used? Well, there are actually 3 or 4 ways that this score is used. So landlords may look at your business's Paydex score when deciding whether to let you lease a business location. Lenders may also check your Paydex score when deciding whether to approve you for a business loan, business credit card, or business line of credit. And suppliers may check your business's Paydex score to see whether they can expect invoices to be paid back on time and determine what terms to extend to you. So you can see that this trifecta, those 3 player categories, are using the Paydex score to actually do business with you. Okay, so when a new business is looking to work with you, it will often check your Paydex score as a part of its due diligence. So anyone or any business can access your Paydex score on the Dun & Bradstreet website. I want to talk to you now about how the Paydex score is calculated. So we need to have a clear idea about what goes on into the computation, what goes into the calculus of that score. So that way you have a better idea of how you can impact the criteria, right? So I want to quickly remind you, boss. The topic of today's conversation is the 3 things you can do to quickly reach a 90 plus Paydex score real fast. Number 1, you want to get credit from companies reports to Dun & Bradstreet. Number 2, you want to order stuff on credit. Number 3, you want to pay vendor invoices in full before they are due. Now I'm just having a general conversation with you, which is really important, so that you really understand what we're talking about in terms of Paydex score. So how is the whole thing calculated, and what does the Dun & Bradstreet really do? Now, in order to generate a Paydex score, you will need to apply for a DUNS number on the DNB website. So when we talk about DUNS number, this is kind of similar to your EIN or your social security number. Okay, so once you have your DUNS number, Dun & Bradstreet can calculate your business's Paydex score based on payments that your suppliers report. Each supplier is called a trade line, and each individual payment you make is called an experience. This is why we always tell our viewers that we tell them 2 things. When you have a startup or an established business, you need to have a DUNS number. This is no questions about it. We're not even talking. There's no discussion. Case closed. Number 1. Number 2, you need to actually make sure that once you have the DUNS number, that you actually start dealing with vendors who will report your transactional experience, your transactional data to Dun & Bradstreet. This is really important. So in order to generate a Paydex score, Dun & Bradstreet will need at least 3 experiences from 2 trade lines. In other words, at least 2 of your suppliers will need to report at least 3 total payments to Dun & Bradstreet before your business can generate its Paydex score. Some types of payments have a higher impact than others. The earlier or later your payments are made, the more they'll help or hurt your score. In addition, larger payments have more sway. So if you pay off, let's say, a $5,000 invoice early, it will have a more positive impact on your score than paying off a $500 invoice early. If you have made it so far, I really want to give you a bonus here, and I want to talk about the Paydex score ranges that you have to think about. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because you're probably sitting there right now thinking, well, do I have a Paydex score in the first place? If you want to find out, you want to contact Dun & Bradstreet. I assume that you have a DUNS number, right? You already have a DUNS number. You have completed your paperwork. So now you want to contact Dun & Bradstreet. It's very easy. It's very easy to actually search for your own company, your own business, to see if you have a Paydex score first. If you don't have a Paydex score, then you need to start fixing it, right? Which means you have to make sure that your vendors are reporting your data to Dun and Bradstreet. If you have a Paydex score, but you believe the information is erroneous, is wrong, then you want to take the steps needed to make sure that you contact the vendors, for example, to make sure that they fix the underlying data. Okay, and it's important because you don't want to have a Paydex score that is like below 80 or 75. That's really bad. So unlike your personal credit score, which ranges from 300 to 850, the Paydex score only ranges from 0 to 100. I just said that before. So the higher the better. Okay, nothing complicated here, nothing complicated. Now, here are the different levels in the range that we're speaking about. So it's important to know that 80 is a significant number on this scale. If your Paydex score is 80, it means that you pay all of your suppliers, like their invoices, you pay them off exactly on the day that they are due on average. A score above 80 means that on average, you pay off your invoices early. So, boss, remember that 80 is critical. Now, where are you at right now? Where are you? Do you even know, are you at 82, 83? Are you above or below 80? Or are you at 80? Where are you? So a score below 80 means that you pay your bills late on average, and the lower the score, the later the payment usually is. For that reason, most businesses checking your Paydex score will want to see a score of 80 or higher. Okay, that means that they are more likely to be paid early or on time and will not have to worry about chasing you down for a late payment. So I want you to focus right now going forward, boss. 80 is the way to go. 80 minimum. Do everything in your power to maintain an 80 plus score when it comes to Paydex. Another important question is, how do you check your Paydex score in the first place? Because, I've told you a lot of stuff, and you probably have now you have a clear idea about how you check your Paydex score. The thing is, you can check your current Paydex score for free by signing up on Dun & Bradstreet Credit Signal program. So the program is called Credit Signal. Having said that, there is a catch. You will only get access to your Paydex score for 14 days. And after that, you'll only receive updates when it changes. Okay, so you have 14 days, 2 weeks, where you can have access to your free Paydex score. To check your Paydex score after the 14-day period, that's up to you, but you will need a monthly subscription. And we tell our clients to get that subscription. You need it, and you want to think of it as a business expense, because you want to know exactly how the whole world thinks about you not the whole world, how all the other vendors think about you, what they think about you when it comes to your business credit. Okay, and this is really important. And now, so you have one. So that's one way. One way is just to get to a Dun & Bradstreet website, have the free period for 14 days, or you can check your Paydex score for free on other third-party sites, similar to how you check your personal credit score. However, there are not as many options for business credit scores. One thing we have seen in our experience is that nav.com is one popular website that offers free Paydex score, but they also are trying to get something from you. I mean, they have other businesses, other services they want you to actually pay for, because nothing is free in this world. Okay, so they'll give you the Paydex score for free, but they want you to sign up for something else. So big decision time, boss. Big decision time. Do you know your Paydex score? Number one. Number two, if you do, when was the last time you have actually checked it? Number three, do you have a system in place where you constantly monitor your Paydex score? In other words, are you paying for a subscription either to Nav or to Dun & Bradstreet? When it comes to a Paydex score, again, I just said it, it's just a lot better to subscribe with Dun & Bradstreet directly. You want to go to the source. Don't go to those third parties. They all are trying to hustle. Okay, it's just, think about, if you have to pay $40 or $50, consider this a normal operational expense that you can write off at the end of the year. It is worth it. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about the 3 things you can do to quickly reach a 90 plus Paydex score. Number one, you want to get credit from companies you know report to Dun& Bradstreet. Number two, you want to order stuff on credit. Number three, you want to pay vendors in full before they are due. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.